This is Unfiltered, Unhealed, where we stop pretending we're okay and just start telling the truth. No scripts, no sugarcoating, just real stories about trauma, healing, and everything in between.
If it's messy, uncomfortable, or hard to say out loud, it belongs here in this bubble with us. It's not all about having it together, it's about being honest so we can all figure it out.
Kenny just wants me to do the best that I can, and I am.
That's what your number one job, and all Kenny would want of you is to make sure you're doing everything properly for. If you were going to be anxious and on edge the whole visit, it is better you didn't go because needs to have a positive time.
Right, and I don't want Kenny to feel that because
That
I know
too.
he can feel energy.
Especially if he's like half spirit, he can definitely feel energy. Don't feel bad because it sounds like you made the best choice, not just for you, but for everybody.
Well, it was my idea for them to go, so I feel like she probably like, well, you're the one who wanted to go, and I did. My intentions were to go.
Now she gets to go and he's going to have a positive time.
Like, as long as she is happy about that, that's all that matters. I always like question whether I'm like doing the right thing for them.
That's, I think, just some predisposition shit, though. Like, we've always felt like we were wrong anyway.
I think that I'm just so used to like people always questioning me and always like second guessing me and making me feel guilty for not doing this or that.
That's what that is. That is because honestly, all God honest truth. The where I'm looking at it, I think you made the right decision with where you were at the moment. Like the most important thing is for those going to have a positive time because it's already a shitty situation.
Right.
You're just predispositioned, I am too, to think like we always do something wrong.
Even like, well, when your parents are always on you and your family doesn't give you much credit, you don't have a lot of family to begin with. It's like, feels like the whole world is against you sometimes. And my family doesn't give a shit about my feelings, and I do care about hers, and I know she cares about mine.
She does, y'all family now. Her guys' relationship has been through so many changing.
Yeah, I never thought that I would be as close to her as I am today. It's nice that she is the one person I know that I can call and she picks up every time. And that makes me feel like I'm loved. And I've never experienced that. So at first it was like hard for me to trust it because of our stats over the years. I feel like we both have put up a white flag and it's just what matters the most is the best for the kids. I feel I'm co-parenting with her. And I know she feels that too because she knows that, like, if Kenny was here, it'd be his responsibility to help me take care of his son. And she's watched me struggle so much over the years and try to, like, get myself through it. It's not easy.
She's seen all that.
And she was like, I haven't been to the hospital. I mean, she has come to the hospital to visit me, but not in a few years. And I'm like, I don't necessarily need you to come to the hospital when you're taking care of my kids every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I met Kenny in 2015, and it was right after I had cancer. It was like right after I had, and she was adopted out, and I was in drug court, and I've been single for a while, really since other. And at that point, we'd already been split up for like 2 years. When I met Kenny, like I knew that I was in love, and so was he. We were so obsessed with each other, and it was so toxic. We were so terrible. No one wanted to get involved with us because they knew that how that would end. Regardless of all the fights that we got into and all the times I beat him up and burned his clothes.
Yeah, I remember some of that.
She was still my best friend. I was with him for 5 years after we had my son, and, I had gotten clean and he was still out there using every day. I was changing my life and like getting my life together, and he was still constantly doing the same.
Tell me about you guys when you were first together.
When we first started dating, a lot of what we would do was like go to meetings and hang out with our friends and went out to double tea. And, we would spend all night talking in his car. That was what attracted me to him, was that he let me drive his car and hit a 5-speed. And that he was just this green-eyed boy that was, I don't know, he just took me by storm. And I just fell in love with him immediately. And then it really was toxic from day one.
Even my brother was kind of toxic. Let's face that shit. He got more toxic after you.
I'm sure.
That's just something you were used to, you know? That was love to you, I guess. Same, I'm the same. I'm not judging you. You know that. That's what I attract to.
And that I hated that saying, like, we are what we attract. And I still do because, like, I
Yeah.
don't think that I'm narcissistic. I just wanted that family and I just wanted to, like, settle down and, like, I wanted him to stop around. And he just would not stop using. When he would use, he would cheat on me and then he would feel guilty and then he would continue to do it. It's a horrible cycle. The worst part is that I would have followed him till the end of the earth if it wasn't for our kids.
That's one of
No
those
choice.
things I think women in bed are definitely programmed differently.
I had no choice but to leave when he was used. Yeah, I had already had her since back and I had already busted my ass and got my own place. And he could not get it together. He was so sad after I broke up with him. He literally just would try to himself. He would use to the point where he should have died.
All right, well, hold on, because I'm coming back with memories here. Me and Pat just got out of prison, and we're going to the Joppatown flea market because get some honest food.
That was 2019.
And as we're walking in, Fawn live streaming and blowing up, setting all the Kenny shit on fire.
That's 2019, summer 2019.
So was that the last time you were with Kenny?
Yeah, we were left Ocean City, HUI, at the end of September, and then we broke up. That was like the last straw for me. He told me he was sick the whole time that we were in Ocean City, and I was mad at him because he slept on the couch the whole time. You know, really wasn't mad at him because I knew he was going to be sick. I was mad that he wanted to use as soon as we got home, and he had already detoxed for 4 days on the couch. He told me he wanted to die, and he had me record that video of him. I haven't watched it in years, but he told me to give the cars to the kids, and he had me film that, like, right before he
Like
got
he
sick.
knew.
Yeah, like God knew. I'm glad that I spent time with him when I did, because if I didn't, then I wouldn't have got those last days with him. I took him to treatment right after I celebrated 2 years. The whole time I was celebrating my 2 years, like I was expecting him to walk in, and he was getting high the whole time. He didn't come. So I went to his house later. He looked worse than I'd ever seen him look, ever. I just seen him for Christmas because he stayed with me and the kids for Christmas. It had been a few weeks. I just remember going to his house and I'm like, are you done yet? Like, have you had enough? Because I was raising the kids and he was just still using. Like, he had nothing else to do. No kids take care of nothing. I took him to treatment and he got clean and he came home and he's been gone 6 years. It's crazy that it was that fast because that was in January. I celebrated January 6th. He went to treatment. He came home the beginning of February, my birthday weekend. So he came out to the car with arms full of balloons.
I saw a video of that.
I was like, who's this for? It's fucking you. And he never did anything like that for me before. So that's why it was so hard. I lost him because he was like a whole another person. I just miss my friend. Yeah, he's my kid's father, but like I miss
He
him.
was your friend.
Yeah, so he came in from treatment. We spent the next week together. We didn't know what we were going to do. We were going to get back together or what. And had got into it, of course, like we always do. And this was right after I had the first reconstruction surgery fail. He stayed with me in the hospital the whole time. He just died of the rehab. When we did come home and so used to me running back to him, I was scared. And I didn't run back to him immediately. And I always felt guilty because I didn't jump back into his arms because that happened so fast. He was gone by March 18th.
See, there was a lot of times, remember, though, that I told you I believed myself for Ollie's death. Like, what do you tell me? Really, there's nothing you can do.
I know that. And I have done a lot of therapy on this particular topic.
Well, yeah, so what happened to Kenny?
So he called me and he told me that he had a headache. He went to the hospital. They sent him home. And then all of a sudden, he just got so bad. He said that it felt like his eyes were being ripped out of the back of his head. And the next day, I called his phone and his mom had it. We had no idea what was wrong with him at first. They thought he had viral meningitis and he went to put him up. 48 hours later, after he was admitted into the hospital, I had seen him one time before COVID shut the hospital down. His culture started flowing immediately, and they put him in an MRI, and they found over 40 abscesses on his brain.
Oh, wow.
Abscesses.
How long did it take for them to develop? Do you know?
I don't know. He was out there for like a good 2 or 3 months solid, like just straight on. And
Yeah.
so his mom actually filed a missing persons report on him right before Christmas. So he went to recover for 6 weeks, and then I couldn't see him. COVID shut the hospital down. We could get a nurse to walk into his room sometimes when he finally opened his eyes with a tablet. And I have recordings of it and pictures of it. He and Petey, his grandparents, and his mom, we all zoomed on a tablet.
He spoke to you guys then, or?
So by then, the doctors said they didn't know what his prognosis was going to be, but it didn't look good. It didn't look like he was ever going to walk or talk again. He had suffered, obviously, a brain injury from these 3 brain infections that he came down with. He came down with viral meningitis, cryptococcus meningitis, and then influenza, which is all the same. It's all from the same family, which is a viral meningitis. And viral meningitis is super, super dangerous. I had viral meningitis when I was a kid, and they were so worried because it can kill you. Bacterial meningitis will kill you. I wish they would have just let him go. He ended up suffering another brain injury after that when he was getting too bad. And so COVID was happening at the time, and his mom didn't know where they were going to place him after he was released from the hospital because he needed around the clock care. A lot of places were being used for COVID, a lot of brain facilities. Like, we picked a place that had the least COVID patients at the time, and we picked the place that we felt like we could get the most attention as well. And because it was a smaller facility and all the other brain facilities had been shut down at the time, we didn't really have a lot of options, and we didn't want him to get sick. But he tested positive for COVID for like 40 days in a row. If he would have gotten treatment right away, because the brain is a muscle and it needs to be exercised. And for him to have any sort of like hope in the future, he would have to exercise that muscle and his cognitive skills, like brushing his teeth or like following a pen with his eyes, listening, like those type of cognitive skills. But they never did any of that with him. And he couldn't do any of it when he got to the facility we put him in. It's pretty much a nursing home for old people where he lives. And they do physical therapy with you, but if you don't use it or you can't show them that you're improving, then they will lessen it, which doesn't make any sense. Because, like, how are they supposed to get better? And in that case, he wasn't getting better. And then he pulled the feeding tube out and he was without oxygen from his brain while he was in surgery for minutes. And he died 3 times when he operated. He got that second brain injury and it needed any chances of him getting better. Zilch. He was talking and he was more cognitive at first, but when he had that second brain injury, it just sucked whatever life was in there out. He just wasn't himself anymore. Like, I knew, even to this day, like, I still know when I see him that he knows exactly who I am.
Yeah.
He gets the same smile on his face every time he sees me. And you can see it in his face that he loves me. The worst feeling I've ever felt in my whole life. And it just breaks my heart when I walk out of there. Not even because he's my ex or my child's father, because he's a person.
How have you been dealing with it with your son and your daughter? And how do you try to get on with life?
Well, therapy. They're both in therapy, a lot of therapy. And I do therapy with them because I want them to be able to process their feelings, but also to talk to me about their feelings and what they're going through when it comes to their dad. Because I've never had any other dad that she's known, except for Kenny. And she knows a real dad, but she doesn't have
No relationship.
like
Yeah.
that with Kenny. That was so brutal. Like, he told her to skateboard, you have to go from school. He left her just with what she loved, and he treated her like he did.
Not hard, but yeah.
Yeah.
She's a great kid, though, so, I keep seeing orbs in your phone. I don't know if it's smoke or dust. They're on another one. Maybe it's fuzz. Maybe I should be recording the screen.
I believe you because I don't want to talk about it because like we're cool. Yeah, but I miss him every day. I know that he knows who I am now because when I got the bus on my arm and I walked in there and I asked him what was on my arm because he knows what a Volkswagen bus is. He was a Volkswagen mechanic. He didn't even look the bus. He kept saying the key, and I like could not pick it up at first because he wasn't saying it or enunciating it. Obviously, like I had to figure it out. But then, like when I realized what he was saying, oh my God, waterworks, because the key on my arm is to the locket on his chest. And like the fact that he remembered that blew my mind because like he doesn't even remember my name every time I go.
Now I've said this before, you gotta listen to telepathy tapes. I think like he bounces between here and there.
His grandfather told me that he crosses back and forth to the other side.
On the other side, though, you don't have a name or really a body. You're probably a familiar light to him that he just recognizes.
His grandfather told me that he spends time with him when he crosses the veil and that he should be on that side with him. He should not be here. When I went to see the medium, that lady told me that she knew he had a brain infection. She asked me, she said, is there something wrong with his brain? Because he's showing me that he's alive. And I was like, he is alive. So Kenny's grandfather, his pop, Carol, that was the first grandfather that passed away when we started dating, and he asked me to go in the room with him to say his goodbyes. Then that come through and tell me that was a wild feeling. Because I mean, this lady had no idea that like I met this man. I'd only known him for like a couple weeks and he passed away.
Yeah, but he knew you. And since he was all the way on that side, he was able to come through and talk to you.
Right. And like he was given the opportunity to do it. And I just know that when I finally do bury Kenny, it will be the most bittersweet feeling I've ever felt.
I think it's wonderful over there.
Well, the medium told me, she explained heaven to me like this. She said, this is how they tell me it is. They're in their perfect form, their perfect selves, what they think their perfect selves are. And that there is no feeling, there's no thoughts, there is no worry, there's no wonder, there's no more. It's just peace. I just want that for Ken so bad. I want him to be at peace. I would give up my happiness any day of the week to see him pass on.
He wouldn't let you do that, though. You're responsible for these children. He would never let you do that.
You are my happiness. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have much happiness other than that.
He would never let you do that, and you know that. I can hear him telling you you're being a stupid because he can't take care of the kids like you can.
Yeah, you know, he never thought that I was going to get it together. Like, when I did, he was so proud of me.
Maybe it was kind of like protection because he didn't think he could get it together. It was probably a big relief, though, to know that you had it together and you could do it for the kids.
Well, I was told this also when I went to meet the medium, and she said that, you know, everything happens for a reason. God gave me his perfect self, what his perfect self could be on earth before he took him from you. And you wanted him to be clean, but this is the only way that he could get clean. And like, unfortunately, that is the way that it is.
This lifetime, that's the way it is.
Right. But when I prayed for him to get clean, like, this is not what I meant.
Yeah.
I just want him to move on. And I want God to take him out of this misery.
I definitely understand that one.
People don't understand it. They actually see it.
You think death is the worst thing, and then you learn about something like this.
That is nothing compared to what this is.
Absolutely. So, how often does Bobo usually, go up there? How often do you see Kenny?
She goes and sees him like every other week to sit with him after work. I haven't been since last Father's Day.
Oh, yeah, and Father's Day is this weekend.
I go further and further between seeing him because it's harder for me every year. I
Yeah.
guess because it's not final every year.
Oh, well, I guess because everybody's getting older, maybe it's kind of like the same thing as death, like just recognizing what they're missing.
Yeah, it's just final.
How often
So-
does y'all's son go up there?
He saw him last Father's Day. Before that, he didn't see him for 2 years because I stopped his visits. He wouldn't react well when he would leave, so I just got to the point where I stopped my 6-year-old from seeing his dad. for 2 years until he was able to like process his emotion in therapy. And until he asked me to go see his dad
Yeah.
because his grandmother thought that he was going to be some sort of miracle treatment for his dad. And it felt like the more we took him up there, the worse it got for him. So
That's a lot of responsibility to put on a kid that's already dealing with a lot. And he doesn't even realize he's dealing with a lot because he's so young.
right, he doesn't even realize the impact or the loss that he's suffering yet.
I mean, has he like talked about it with you?
I'll talk about it sometimes. And that's normally when we're like talking about his dad or like I bring up a funny story. Because I try really hard to always celebrate him and never forget him. And now I say he loved them.
Do you
And
think he recognizes the feelings he's having, or they're still like really confusing?
no, I think he recognizes that he's sad. He just doesn't know how to verbalize it all the time that is sadness or like anger because he doesn't understand or disappointment because he's not here.
It's like he's
Just
missing something that he doesn't even know.
yeah, he lives off of our stories, the pictures and the videos, and like that's all he has.
Yeah,
And
that has to be hard.
he doesn't understand why his dad got sick the way that he did, and he sees other kids' parents and their dads, and he doesn't see them act, or it's confusing for him. It's definitely been hard conversations over the years.
And he saw us many, many years ago before he can like really wrap his brain around it, probably.
Right. Thank God for his sister because she definitely helps like coax his emotions out of him so he can process them and like he can see the anguish on his face. So it's nice that she's able to talk to him too. It's helpful that he trusts her and he's willing to open up.
So then, when's the last time his sister went up there to see Kenny?
He only seen him once the whole time. It was on his birthday. It's 5 years ago.
How did she take that?
She cried the whole time.
Yeah, because she's
Yeah,
older.
she's 8 years older than her, so
Okay.
she definitely understands more.
And then she has the memories like of Kenny being a father to her, like of
Right.
doing all the things.
Exactly. So it's hard.
She definitely
she was
processes it a little differently because she knows what she's missing.
right, and she just treats it like he passed away.
Unfortunately, that might be the healthiest way. I mean, that's the thing I always go back to too, though, like any idea of how much Kenny knows or processes of today?
There's no way to tell.
Hmm. That's the part that really gets me. I hope he's not processing this stuff. I hope it's like it might have been years, but to him it's like minutes or something.
The look on his face every time I leave because he doesn't understand. It's hard. It's very hard. That's why I don't go see him as much. It is so final, and I can't take him with me. My son asked me for years why I couldn't take him with me, and it's still hard on me. It wasn't like I was in love with him when it happened. I was very much in love with him still, and I loved him very much. I left because I chose to put my family first, but
Yeah.
it didn't mean that I wasn't in love with him.
Well, even you leaving, you say it like that. I wouldn't, you say you left, you were choosing your family, but I wholeheartedly know and believe that if he got his together, it wasn't final.
Right. Well, I mean, like, final is what he is now, and that's what I mean. Like, that part is final for me. And I had to accept that because for a long time it wasn't.
Yeah,
And
that holding on to that
it's
hope in this situation is counterproductive, unfortunately. God, it feels bad to say that.
in the beginning, I didn't know what was going to happen. And as the years have gone by, I've gotten more acceptance, but it's not any easier.
In the beginning, I probably definitely would have held on to that hope that it's just going to turn around. But after years and years,
The first 2 or 3 years was the hardest, but it's still just as hard. I don't cry as much as I used to. It doesn't set me off the way that it used to, but it's still just as hard. It's never any easier.
no,
I
you just
just
kind of got used
process.
to it.
Yeah, I just processed it differently in the beginning. I was much more emotional about it, but there were a lot of things going on at one time. COVID was going on. He was sick. Like, I was stuck in my house. I had surgery on my chest. Like, a lot happened.
Kenny's situation really sucks.
It does.
Because I could just imagine being you through all that and just wanting him to be there to support me.
I just wanted him to get better. That's all I cared about in the beginning. No matter what that looked like, and I felt like I could handle how he ended up. But this was something I couldn't imagine in the very beginning. Like, never ever hearing his voice again or never seeing him walk normally again or be a dad again. Like, I never ever wrapped my head around in the beginning. That's why it was so hard. Knowing that he lives is torture for everyone involved.
That's why I'm worried if he can comprehend what's going on.
The medium that I saw told me that his spirit leaves his body. It'll visit him and it will leave. It visits the other side.
So that I'm kind of hoping it's like he doesn't really realize how much time has passed. But then again, when he sees you guys, that's probably when it
Yeah.
clicks.
And that I think, I mean, he doesn't react with words, he reacts with emotions. He cries or he laughs or he screams. And that's kind of how you can tell what he's feeling in the moment. And that's pretty much it. That's all you get.
That has to be super frustrating for him if he realizes what's going on.
I don't think he realizes what's going on. I think it's harder on us.
I hope
He
so.
doesn't.
And I hope that doesn't sound like mean or anything, but I really hope he does
No,
not realize what's going on.
no, I think it's harder on us because he doesn't realize what's going on the way that we do.
I don't want him like mentally stuck. You know what I mean? Like, I hope he is
Yeah.
leaving and he just comes back to visit every now and then.
Nobody would. I wouldn't let you on my worst enemy. It's no way to live a life.
No, that's worse than death.
This is Fawn. Thank you for listening to Kenny's episode of Unfiltered, Unhealed.
This is Jen. Until next time, keep healing.